you can't eat money, right? You can't eat your iPhone, right? You need food. I lived exclusively on sprouts for 30 days at a time in the desert.
Why should everybody eat sprouts?
Why doesn't everyone know about sprouts? Sprouts are food. Sprouts are vitamins and minerals. Sprouts are medicine. If you grow them at home, under $1 a serving, and they're fast, and they're fresh.
The statistic you're about to hear is wild. It blew my mind. Have you heard about the Hailey Bieber smoothie?
I have.
Love that term. Positive, proactive actions.
Yeah, as opposed to surgery and other things, by changing your diet, changing your lifestyle.
What would be your message? What would you say?
I'd say there's nothing more true than...
Let's get the party started. Doug,
Okay.
It's an honor to have you here.
Oh my God, it's the
to
best.
meet you. You've had a massive impact on my life, I can tell you. I have been eating my broccoli sprout religiously for years. I don't know if you know my story, but a couple years ago, I went through a bit of a cancer journey, and I was eating fairly healthy already before. It was not it's called Burkitt leukemia. It's a very rare form of cancer. It was not because I was eating unhealthy. However, afterwards, I have the mindset like I want to control the controllables and see what I can do. And when I listened to your episode, which you did with Simon, I got hooked about sprouts, and I'm very curious to hear about sulforaphane, the cancer protective compound that you find in sprouts. But first of all, I want to say thank you, because it feels very empowering to know I'm eating something every day that is protecting me, and can't believe that I have you here.
Yeah.
The author of one of my favorite books of all time, the Sprout book.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Axel. And I didn't know much about you. And, this work really is coming through me. Like, I never thought about being an author or doing podcasts or starting a company for sprouting. But when I learned about it and I experienced it, it was so profound that it changed my whole life. Like every aspect of my life changed when I started to commit to eating sprouts and sharing this message. So if we think about what is a sprout, what is a seed, there would be no life on this planet if there weren't seeds that germinated. And when a seed germinates, it turns into a sprout. Now, most people are familiar with eating vegetables and fruits and nuts, right? So a nut is a seed, right? Not all seeds are nuts, but not all nuts are seeds. And when you activate a seed, which is a complete living organism in a dormant state, that creates all life on the planet, right? All trees, all vegetation, all photosynthesis, all food, even feeding the carnivores, eat herbivores, right? So the circle of life. So it's so important. And the insight that I had was that most people are eating mature vegetables, but there's a hack in nature or a secret in nature that seeds are edible, but seeds have phytic acid, enzyme inhibitors, lectins that make them hard to digest and less bioavailable. But when you sprout a seed, you unleash a metabolic process and triggers the activation of the meristematic stem cells to turn that seed into a vegetable. And because it's a young, tender vegetable, it's very bioavailable. And within days of sprouting a seed, you increase the vitamin C by 300%. You quadruple the antioxidants. And all of this activity is occurring, and all of a sudden, this seed, which is solid, fat, endosperm, embryo, all of a sudden now has soluble and insoluble fiber. And it's just growing, and we get to eat that. So
for everybody who who's getting into sprouts for the first time, we just had a conversation before the episode started. I basically asked every person today that I've met, "Are you eating sprouts?"
Yes.
And I hear like, "Oh yeah, sometimes." I mean, we are in LA right now.
Yes.
It's probably more common than I would say, like from my hometown in Germany. Like, not many people are eating sprouts. You can't go to the supermarket. There are some for sure, but maybe in a short form, why should everybody eat sprouts?
Well, considering we need food to survive, right? We need air and we need water, and those are essential. But food is also essential. And considering the efficiency of the food determines availability, assimilation, nutrition, energy, sleep, mind, body, gut, brain control. Sprouts are the perfect food. They are the perfect food because every single sprout contains every amino acid to form complete proteins. They have soluble, insoluble fiber. They have micronutrients, phytonutrients, and these are things that are so functioning in the body. So you only have so much space to eat, and you can only burn so many calories in a day. And a problem, you don't experience this, and I don't experience this, but there are people that are getting too many empty calories from processed and refined food. Yes. So on one extreme, we have 25,000 people a day in the world under our watch that are dying of starvation. But on the other hand, we have 125,000 people that are dying from preventable chronic illnesses that really can point to food regarding obesity, diabetes, cancer, heart disease. Most of those are preventable. And so when you think about...
That's 125,000 or million?
125,000 per day.
Oh, per day. I was like, okay.
Per day.
Wow. That's worldwide.
Worldwide.
Okay.
So why are sprouts important? Sprouts, most people thought of sprouts as a garnish or a side dish, or they didn't think of them at all.
I would say that's
right?
Most people, yeah.
And what I've realized is that sprouts are food. They are vegetables. They're also vitamins and minerals. So we have a whole industry, $100 billion plus industry of people consuming supplements, whether it's protein powders or creatines or synthetic multivitamins. And in fact, people should be eating food. So when I think about sprouts as food, that's one. When I think about sprouts as a source of vitamins and minerals, they are on par with any supplement. Like, you can consume them. Now, there are ways that you can use if someone is deficient and you need to get them repleted quickly. If they're depleted and they need to be replenished, you can take a supplement. And what I found is most functional medicine doctors are recommending supplements because they think people aren't going to change their diet. And so sprouts to me are vegetables, they're vitamins and minerals, and then in the case of you, someone who was wanting to prevent cancer or treat their cancer or their heart disease or their diabetes or their obesity, they can do that with sprouts because the level of nutrients that are in sprouts go beyond the nutritional level and into the medicinal level, and they can have these chemoprotective properties that can help regulate insulin level in diabetics. They can reduce oxidative stress. They're anti-inflammatory. They can detoxify benzene and air pollutants from the lungs. So if this were a pill, this would be the magic pill. This would be the $1 trillion pill. Everyone would want to take 2 of these a day. And in fact, it's food. Food is thy medicine, and sprouts are thy food that becomes thy medicine.
Can you talk a bit about you just call it chemoprotective compounds, right?
Yes.
Because I know I have a lot of people listening who will get very excited when they hear that term. Because I mean, we all have someone. Many of us have been through journeys where we had cancer related, the big C word, and so when I heard about sulforaphane and broccoli sprouts, also compared to normal broccoli, and we'll talk about the comparison in a second. It is mind blowing. But talk to us a bit about that part, the chemoprotective compounds, and I'm going to pull out my phone because there's actually one study that I came across once that I want to mention. But if you could share with us about that.
So it's well known that cruciferous vegetables are healthy. And one of the things that people attribute to them is their prevention and treating of cancer with cruciferous vegetables, and in particular broccoli. So broccoli has cruciferous vegetables contain isothiocyanates, glucosinolates, and in particular, there is a glucosinolate called glucoraphanin. And glucoraphanin is the precursor to sulforaphane.
Mm-hmm.
And the broccoli has it. And when you pull out your broccoli, we can elaborate more. Inside of the broccoli seeds, broccoli sprouts, there's glucoraphanin. There's also another vacuole that contains an enzyme called myrosinase.
Mm-hmm.
And when you chew it, crush it, blend it, juice it, freeze it, the two vacuoles open up, and then sulforaphane, which is water-based, activates.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fast-acting, and
Mm-hmm.
it upregulates. That becomes this upregulator that opens up the NRF2 pathway, passes through the blood-brain barrier,
Mm-hmm.
and acts as a very anti-inflammatory function in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the treating of how it interacts with the cancer cells, is very health oriented. That there's a process of what happens on a cellular level, similar to that of heat shock proteins that come from cold plunges or sauna.
Mm-hmm.
The heat shock proteins operate from the hermetic effect, from how the plant's defense mechanism, defending against the insects and the predators, actually same mechanism goes after the cells, the unwanted cells in the body.
That's hormesis, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a big term. We have a lot of big terms, and I want to talk about the big terms, but I also want, if my cousin or my father is listening to this episode, who would, if he would hear those scientific terms, he would say, what?
Yeah.
What are like for everybody to understand the main reasons why people should eat sprouts, and maybe particularly also broccoli sprouts?
Yeah. I think the main reason to eat sprouts is that of all foods, like if you go, you're in LA right now, you go to Air One or you go to Whole Foods, they have 25,000 items for sale.
Yeah.
24,450 of those items are cooked, processed, refined, in a bag, in a box, in a bottle, in a jar, in a can, and they're all dead. They're just all dead. And sprouts are alive. You're eating a living organism that's enzymatically active, that's water-based, and is full of life force and energy. And so they contain what we need to survive. And I know this because I lived exclusively on sprouts for 30 days at a time in the desert. And so what happens is when you strip away to the basics and the core, right? I moved to the Mojave Desert, to Wonder Valley Hot Springs near Joshua Tree.
Yeah, I heard.
Right? I'm living in a tent, and I was so content being in nature, except I needed to eat. And so when I looked around, I had a fantasy about growing my own food. And it's really hard to grow food. And in nature, when you're growing vegetables or fruit trees, you're really relying on the weather. and there are frosts, there are rains, there's, inclement weathers, there's drought. And so predictably growing food is very, very hard. And then I had the vision that, I could grow sprouts. And in 1 cubic foot with 6 jars, I was growing thousands of calories a day.
Mm-hmm.
And so what began as a really survival part,
Mm-hmm.
and not that I couldn't get into the car and drive a few hours to go to a health food store,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, can I live here? Like, I want to be here. So I started to grow sprouts. And within a few days, these jars were germinating,
Mm-hmm.
and each jar was producing between 600 and 2,000 calories.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, wow, this is a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just correct, 600 calories per jar and like 800 calories per jar. Whether you were doing alfalfa sprouts and broccoli sprouts, or filling up a large jar with lentils, peas, garbanzo beans, or mung beans,
Mm-hmm.
the caloric density varied. But I was able to, with those 6 jars, consistently get over 2,000 calories a day of food. And I thought, like, this is too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to keep a journal. I started to track my progress. And I was having very consistent, strong movements. And I had strong energy. And I noticed my addictive behavior
Mm-hmm.
was somewhat subsiding.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just being able to be at this state of equanimity,
Mm-hmm.
because without the addition of salt, oil, sugar, sweeteners,
Mm-hmm.
and fats,
Mm-hmm.
like I was chill.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought it was too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to reach out to medical professionals, dietitians, nutritionists, from Dr. Mark Hyman and Dr. Dean Ornish and Dr. Joel Kahn to Dr. Josh Axe and Dr. Joel Furman. And it turns out, even though these medical professionals, some believed in the keto diet, including meat, some believed in functional medicine, where they were grass-fed meat and regenerative protein, and the rest were plant-based, they all loved sprouts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they really had a deep affinity for sprouts. For a moment, I was relieved, and then I somewhat contracted, thinking, I went into scarcity, thinking like, they know all about it, like I'm wasting my time.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned out they knew all about the sprouts, but they all had their own mission, their own life,
Mm-hmm.
and no one was devoted to sharing the mission of bringing sprouts to the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked if I could collaborate with them, and would they contribute their knowledge and their experience and their names and their credibility to my work. And they all said yes. And that was, when I wrote the Sprout book,
Mm-hmm.
was the idea of getting this information out of my head, out of my journals, out of my logs,
Mm-hmm.
into a book. And that was, to me, it kind of sealed the deal. That if I would have gone to them and they would have said, sprouts are good, but they're missing this, or sprouts are good, but what about that?
Mm-hmm.
I would have been apprehensive. But the fact that they were so over the top,
Mm-hmm.
enthusiastic about it, then I asked the question, why doesn't everyone know about sprouts? Why isn't everyone eating sprouts? So the question you're asking me is, why should everyone eat sprouts? Sprouts are food. Sprouts are vitamins and minerals. Sprouts are medicine. Sprouts are, if you grow them at home, under $1 a serving, and they're fast, and they're fresh. In America, and I don't know what it's like in Germany, but in America, the average produce is traveling 2,000 miles across the country in order to get to its grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's traveling to your refrigerator, and then it's sitting there. And 30% of the fresh produce people buy, they throw out because it wilts and rots and decays and molds in their fridge. So the idea that anybody can become a farmer, that you can control your environment. Sprouts are the only produce item that are guaranteed to sprout in any environment, anywhere in the world, with love and care and nurturing. And they're beyond a survival food. To me, like, I'm looking at you and you're obviously a young man. I'm going to be 60 years old. and like, I feel as vibrant and as the vitality that I've never experienced before in my life.
Yes.
And like, so why do you want to eat sprouts? Because you want to feel good. Like, nothing feels better than feeling the best ever.
That's very true. That's very true. I love that. I want to represent also people that are usually not exposed to sprouts, who maybe hear about it for the first time. Because if I look around in my bubble, the people who are already eating sprouts are the people who are listening to to podcasts, who are somewhat exposed to nutrition science, and then there are many people who've never heard about it.
That's right.
So I believe if we keep just talking in a language that that only the people I just mentioned understand, I think we're missing out on a big part of the population. And I came to the US and I was shocked about how fast food options are often even cheaper than whole food options. Like, you get a massive pizza slice for $1.50, but then if you would, as mentioned, go to Whole Foods or L1 and you wanna have a Whole Foods bowl with maybe some sprouts on it, you're gonna pay $30.
Yeah.
Right? And that is something that was really exciting, or I think is exciting for everybody especially who's living on a budget. I'm thinking about me as a student. Like, I would have loved to sprout because everybody can do it. Like, listen,
That's
if
right.
I can do it, if I can sprout, you can sprout at home. And it also gives you this nice feeling of you mentioned the word farmer. You're making your own food. There's something really special about that, right? It's organic. It's super affordable, nutrient dense, has cancer protective compounds, and you can make it anywhere.
That's right. And the interesting thing, sprouts grow without soil, without sunshine, without fertilizer in days. Like, when you're growing sprouts, in our equipment, glass jar, stainless steel filter, certified organic seeds, guaranteed to sprout. And a quarter cup of seeds will grow into 6 cups of sprouts. So 24x growth.
That is nuts. You have this one viral clip where you show, I think it was broccoli sprouts. I think it was a cup like
a quarter
this.
cup of seeds.
Quarter cup of seeds.
Fills up the whole jar.
You
could use that in the podcast, cut in the B-roll.
We'll for sure do that. So what would you tell everybody who is maybe living on a budget, who has not been exposed to sprouts before? I'm thinking of a couple of like family members who, maybe because of me and my work, have started to implement more whole foods in their diet. Why should they be excited about
Look,
sprouts?
I mean, the affordability factor
Yeah.
is profound.
Yeah.
Like, here's the opportunity where normally when something is inexpensive, like sub $1 a serving, it's crap, right? In this case, the sprouts are the lowest cost and most nutrient dense food. So here, like, Mike Posner, my friend and partner, when he goes out to eat, he brings his glass Tupperware filled with sprouts that he grew, because there's no food in restaurants that meets the nutritional density and the quality and the freshness and the texture that he wants to eat. So, I thought originally like he was eating the sprouts because he wanted the energy. But it turns out he had Alzheimer's in his family. And sprouts have these anti-inflammatory compounds that actually can help prevent the Alzheimer's and dementia. So the body of work, you have to eat. Even if people are on living an abundant lifestyle, right? And we have right now, this sprouting phenomenon is beginning. This week the sprouting company was on Shark Tank.
I saw. Congrats.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, this is not like the hippy dippy trippy, Simon Hill audience.
Simon, I hope you hear this.
Right. This is not the Simon Hill. This is mainstream, global mainstream audience. And this was just a manifestation of a dream where I was thinking hey, how do you get out to the big world? And I can tell you, since the show aired, the amount of energy, activity, shares, orders, it's just going bonanza. It's going off the chart. We may not have inventory left, for Black Friday.
Oh, wow.
The orders are just flying
Beautiful.
through, and people are just loving it. It's the most common thing I'm hearing is people feel like they've been living under a rock. How did they not know about sprouts? They've been living under a rock. And John Mackey, who's a dear friend, the founder of Whole Foods, he told me why. Because sprouts are a shitty business. If everything in the grocery store is in a bag, in a box, is pasteurized and cooked, and has long shelf life, sprouts have a few days shelf life. So they can't even make it in a truck for the normal journey to get to the grocery store. So as a result, there are no national or international sprouting companies. There's no big food companies. Big food is in everywhere, right? From bananas to oranges. There's no big food, there's big companies in sprouting. So what I said and what I learned from that is, rather than trying to grow sprouts, put them in packages and distribute them around the country, sell seeds that are in nature's natural preservative and let people add water and grow their own sprouts. Now, there were mason jars and cheesecloth that I was sprouting with.
Yeah.
And there were problems with that the mason jar was designed for canning. So it had a bell shape on it. So when it was at an angle.
This looks beautiful.
When the mason jar was at the angle, the water wouldn't drain. So I decided I wanted to do a straight edge so that all the water would drain. And then I wanted a bigger jar. My hands are relatively normal size, but my wife is smaller. So you gave her a big jar, she couldn't handle it. So I designed little detents in it so you could grip the jar non-slip and glass. So we made this custom glass jar with the straight edge, and then designed a stainless steel filter.
Wow.
That had that could be scrubbed, that had good airflow and good drainage. And then we tested every angle, right? Putting the jar like this, putting it like this, and then slowly arching it up. And you'd think if you go over here, you'd have good drainage, except the sprouts would stack on each other.
Yes, I had that issue a couple times.
So then
you have it in an angle?
Yeah, we did it at the angle. And so we made, literally after hundreds of tests, we came to this angle.
Yeah.
And we made something that was easy to use, had optimum airflow, air exchange, drainage, larger, and all the materials that touched the sprouts were glass and stainless steel. So this was so well thought and designed, and it took years. I mean, everything takes time. And this, my friend, this is for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
So we're not in Germany yet, so you'll have the first sprouting
I'll travel
company
with
jar
it.
in Germany.
Oh,
And-
you should come to Germany. Big market.
Yes.
And I wanna ask, because I actually brought the sprouts that whenever I'm traveling, rather than eating no sprouts, I usually go to the store, and I want to hear your comment on sprouts that you can get from the store. By the way, this was $3.99, I think.
Yeah.
We have them in Germany as well, where you go to the store, certain stores. Not every store have them. But whenever I'm traveling and I don't bring my sprouting set, by the way, this one is much prettier. I'm going to start using this one. I go to the store and I get sprouts.
Yeah.
What's your comment on that? What are your thoughts on that?
I love that there are sprouts available in supermarkets that you can get them.
Yeah.
And in a pinch, I would buy them, right? When I'm traveling, I would buy them. The idea that you can grow them and you can control when you're consuming them, you control the price, the freshness, the quality. Our seeds are certified organic and they have high germination. So in the case of growing them, they're good. When you buy store-grown sprouts, you just have to be extra careful to know, look at the date. You want to use your skills of your eyes and your senses to see, do they look good? Are they crisp? Are they white? Are they fresh? When you touch them before you eat them, you want to make sure that they're fresh and they feel clean. They don't have slime or biofilm on them. But that's the risk of any produce born in the supermarket.
Yep.
So I think if you have them, they smell good, they taste good, they're probably very good, for you.
One question that I asked all my friends, hey, listen, tomorrow I have the sprout guy on my podcast. What are your questions about sprouts? And one thing, because I inspired a lot of my friends to actually start eating sprouts and start sprouting at home. And one thing they keep asking, I'm not sure if those sprouts, yeah, you see it. What's this white fuzz? How do we know it's just fuzz? And how do we know it's mold? Is it like this one smells good to me?
Yeah, I think that, this particular brand, Wild About Sprouts, is actually growing the sprouts in that plastic container.
Oh, really?
So those are grown in there, and they're grown in the cold. So what you're seeing, that white fuzz, is actually root hairs, which means the sprouts are looking for water. The roots are looking for water, so they're dry. And so when you're sprouting in the jar, if you see the white fuzz and you rinse them, the root hairs go away because you're satisfying them with a flooding of water. In that instance, no one is watering them, right? Because they could be sitting, for a week or 2 weeks on the shelf, so they're still they're still thirsty. So, for those, you can eat them out of the container. I would take them at home, rinse them off with water, and look. But that's what. So, in almost all cases, the white fuzz is root hairs. And if anyone has any questions, they can send me close-up pictures. And we have a AI model.
You gotta be kidding me.
That accurately to 99% will evaluate whether it's root hairs or mold.
And how does that work? I sent you next time when I'm in that situation, I sent you a picture on how does it work?
Well, ultimately, that technology is being built. We have an app that we created. It's a free app.
What is it called?
The Sprout app.
The Sprout app?
You can download it off of thesproutingcompany.com. So it's a web app for people on Android, but it's an iPhone, iOS app, and helps people sprout, gives them guidelines and measurements and push notifications. Yeah. But the next upgrade, we're building that model in so someone can take a picture, they upload it, and we will tell them that their sprouts are safe or be wary.
Wow. I love that. I love that you're
using...
And
it's free.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I love that. So the app gives you notifications whenever you need to water your sprouts.
Exactly.
That is amazing, because happened couple times in my life that I would forget. My book, my first ever book, maybe this is happening for you, not to you, is available for pre-order right now. Behind the scenes, for the last 2 years, I've been working on this project, on this book. I put my heart into it. I put my best lessons that I've learned from facing death into this book. Not just my lessons, also the best lessons about life that I've learned from interviewing some of the greatest minds on planet Earth. It's available at your fingertips. It's available for pre-ordering. Pre-ordering is incredibly important for me. I'm going to be very honest with you. Why would you pre-order a book? For me and the movement. I wrote this book to serve, to help others. I know the story. I know our videos literally save lives. And so pre-ordering really helps this mission. Since you're doing me a favor and the movement a favor, I want to do you a favor, okay? So whoever pre-orders the book gets bonuses worth hundreds of euros. You get an entire day of coaching with me, where you transform together with me your body, your mind, your soul, your finances. And as always, I won't hold back. I give you the tools that you need to transform whatever thought, whatever idea, whatever dream you have, you desire, and take that into reality. I want to talk about sulforaphane, maybe in a way that everybody understands. What is sulforaphane, and why is it so important to consume?
So sulforaphane.
Is it just two ways to? Because last time when I had you, we did an Instagram live. I'm like, do I mispronounce that word? It's just apparently like different ways to pronounce it.
Like sulfur.
Yeah.
Sulforaphane.
Yeah. Okay.
Like sulforaphane. So people say it all different ways.
Yeah, we all mean the same thing.
So that's the way I was taught by Dr. Jed Fahey from Johns Hopkins, who's the most published author on broccoli sprouts.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned. So basically, sulforaphane is a compound that just upregulates the whole cellular activity, and it doesn't exist in broccoli sprouts directly. So the precursors to sulforaphane exist in the seed of broccoli. So a broccoli seed contains glucoraphanin and myrosinase. But about, anywhere from 5% to 13% of volume of the seed is this compound glucoraphanin. When you sprout it on day 3, you've actually gone through this metamorphosis, this metabolic transformation from a seed into a vegetable. So now it's bioavailable. But as the seed grows into a sprout, grows into a microgreen, grows into that whole head of broccoli, the amount of sulforaphane is actually getting diluted because there's a finite amount in every single seed. And so what happens when you're consuming this hermetic effect in the body is actually changing the biochemistry, causing the heat shock proteins that actually becomes preventive because it's stressing the body in a positive way to cause the body to react, and that stressing of the body can positively impact these unwanted cells and brain chemistry and anti-inflammatory, which basically goes to the main detoxifying function in the body. Glutathione is all activated as a result of sulforaphane. And that's where sulforaphane was one of the biggest breakthroughs 25 years ago, where broccoli sprouts didn't exist 25 years ago as a labeled term. There were alfalfa sprouts and mung bean sprouts, and clearly there was broccoli, and broccoli seeds existed to grow broccoli. But it was only when they discovered sulforaphane and they discovered broccoli and they were looking at where and how to get this. And the seeds, people eat pumpkin seeds, but no one was eating broccoli seeds. And you can eat broccoli seeds, but you just don't get the benefit of the vegetables, and you don't get the bioavailability. But if you want to get to sulforaphane, you grow out the broccoli. There's also a great product that I helped consult on to develop with Complement called Complement Sulfura, which is a broad spectrum cruciferous model where it has kale extract, broccoli seeds, Brussels sprouts, quercetin, black pepper, camu camu, and that's for someone who is not sprouting, but who wants the benefits of broccoli sprouts in a capsule format, and they're actually getting 400 milligrams of glucoraphanin in 2 tablets, which is the appropriate daily serving. But what happens is this acts as a preventive mechanism in the body and also can activate in the form of a treatment along with other items. So I wouldn't say if someone is, and first of all, I'm not giving any medical advice, but if someone is, going through treatments, getting the broccoli sprouts and the sulforaphane will actually help them in their recovery and help keep their cellular activity going very smoothly. If someone is in a preventive mode, like I just met with Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and Dr. Joel Fuhrman was saying that if someone, in the case of breast cancer, if someone had the BRCA1 gene, the BRCA1 gene, that you can take positive proactive actions.
Love that term. Positive proactive actions.
Yeah, as opposed to surgery and other things, by changing your diet, changing your lifestyle, flooding the body and the cells with nutrients and compounds like sulforaphane.
I love that. I brought broccoli sprouts, but I also brought a real broccoli.
Head of broccoli.
The head of broccoli. I have it in my bag. I'm gonna go get it.
Yes,
Doc. 1 second. There you go. It's a tiny bit because I was hungry yesterday and I had only one at home. And the statistic you're about to hear is wild. It blew my mind. Can you walk us through? We just talked about sulforaphane.
Sulforaphane.
Yeah, exactly. We got everybody excited about it. Now, if we compare the amount of sulforaphane in broccoli sprouts versus broccoli, what are we looking at?
I mean, it's up to 100 times more concentrated in the 3-day-old broccoli sprouts than in the mature broccoli. So literally like a pinch of the broccoli sprouts will have more sulforaphane than that whole head of broccoli.
Yeah, I once heard you saying that I think it was like a gram of broccoli sprouts you need to eat 1 kilogram of raw broccoli, which is way more than this. This might be like, 200 grams?
Yeah, 200, 250.
Yeah, 250. I would also say 200, 250. So 4 times as much. Like imagine like an entire, like 1 kilogram of broccoli. It's a lot. To get the same amount of sulforaphane as 50 grams of broccoli sprouts.
Yeah.
So 50 grams was a kilogram.
Well, what happens is as the plant is getting bigger, it's getting more fiber, it's absorbing more water, it's developing into a healthy plant. But the amount of sulforaphane in every seed is finite. So if you think about this is the result of one seed.
That is nuts.
Right? This is the result of one seed. So the amount of sulforaphane or the precursor that's in that has been diluted immensely in the growing of that. So when you're consuming the sprouts, like you're getting the volume of, if you were to take by weight every single sprout, by weight to there, that's how many times the multiple. It's like a force multiplier because every sprout has the same dose of that in there.
Wild. That is just nuts. So you just said something. I'm just going to double check. You said one of those. This is one seed.
Yeah.
This is one seed.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Well, I mean, if you think about, and I write about this in the Sprout book, one acorn grows into an oak tree, and that oak tree produces 10,000 acorns per year.
Nuts. That's crazy.
This is the abundant universe that we live in, right? So when you tune in to Sprout consciousness, like you start to realize you can always be taken care of. Like during COVID, in the pandemic, we had 200 pounds of seeds on our compound, and we were just eating sprouts. So there was no concern about food sovereignty. So I recommend everybody should have a little storage, of sprouts and some jars and some water in case, there's an issue with supply chain for food, because, you can't eat money, right? You can't eat your iPhone. Right, you need food.
Very true. You can't eat your money. And also one thing that I once learned is that, raw broccoli, we just mentioned it, contains sulforaphane. But if you cook it, the game is basically over, unless you you chop the broccoli before and you let it wait for I think it's 40 minutes to get access to that.
No, it's what happens is when you cook the broccoli,
yes,
the glucoraphanin is not sensitive to heat, but the enzyme myrosinase is.
That's why you can add mustard seeds.
Yeah, so you have to add mustard or radish.
But broccoli with mustard seeds just what?
Yeah, look, you end up becoming like a little home scientist. And that's where the broccoli sprouts really are the perfect food.
Yeah.
Like I just go back to it. And the fact that, you can eat broccoli sprouts as vegetables, as food. Now, I used to eat them as a garnish or as a side dish or a superfood snack. But now I make meals out of them. I replaced lettuce with sprouts. I replaced rice with sprouts. I replaced pasta with sprouts. Like my daughter, she'll get a big bowl of sprouts and we'll pour on her favorite sauce, whether it's a marinara sauce or a pesto sauce, we'll pour it on. And so you're getting things that are just crunchy, flavorful, texture, but highly nutrient dense.
Do you think, by the way, to finish that thought, so if you would cook broccoli and you would, there are people, for example, it's my favorite vegetable. I just love the taste as well. I love broccoli. So you could...
Do you eat it raw or do you steam it?
I steam it. I don't like raw broccoli. Taste-wise, and also, I just love it steamed. Taste. I eat broccoli and I eat broccoli sprouts.
Okay, good.
Broccoli has so many amazing nutrients. Broccoli sprouts, obviously, way more dense, but I love to just eat both. And
you do have some naturally occurring myrosinase enzyme activity in your gut.
Okay.
So if you have a very, strong microbiome, there is it. It's just unpredictable, and that's why. If you're using this for therapeutic, purposes, you want to give yourself the highest possibility for success in eating it.
We've been talking about broccoli sprouts a lot, but there are so many different sprouts. You said if you see, so you can check it out on social media, but there are entire bowls just like sprouts. Inspires me every single time. What sprouts would you say are that everybody should start with?
I think broccoli sprouts are great. lentil sprouts, mung bean sprouts.
Mung bean sprouts are amazing. So easy and so fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clover sprouts, alfalfa, radish. Like basically, we sell 9 different varieties.
Do you have them in here?
No. This
I
is
really
just
like this. The most nutritious food on the planet, grown by you.
Yeah. So
Lovely.
in here, I just brought you a salad mix, and in the salad mix, this contains alfalfa, broccoli, lentils, mung beans, and radish.
Oh, so it's all together. I can
All together.
grow it at the same time.
At the same time.
Oh, that's beautiful. Amazing.
So the idea, but the most important thing is we don't want to overwhelm people. We just want them to start where they are. So the easiest thing to do is add sprouts to everything that you're eating. And, if you're working out, you can use the lentil sprouts or the mung bean sprouts or the green pea sprouts or the garbanzo bean sprouts as an alternative to protein powders and just throw them into your smoothie. So the idea, the early smoothies, like when I was growing up, were all made of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. Now they're made with powders and other.
Have you
other
heard
things.
about the Hailey Bieber smoothie?
I have.
You should go try it. It's very interesting. So, it's probably one of the most sugary drink, and I say this with all due respect, but we always need to stick to the truth. It's I think it's like between $20 and $30, and it's basically diabetes in a cup. Yeah. It's incredibly sugary. It's fatty. It's not healthy at all, and it's that's why I love people like you who go out there. Yeah, maybe it's much sexier to take a picture of, a smoothie that looks kind of nice, but let's be honest, it's not helping you. It's actually making your life worse.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is we have, the cognition to be able to make better choices.
Yes.
And, if you want color, like we could easily, like I make delicious smoothies. If you watch on the Shark Tank, I fed all 5 sharks 4 different gourmet sprout options. So I had Chef Mario and Chef Francesca on set with me at the Shark Tank, and we made these recipes, and they were all like drinking them. And it was so funny. They said, "Don't tell us what's in it," because when I told them what's in it, it's like, "Oh, I don't." Right? But when we were using, the sprouted parts, it was just terrific. You have to watch that clip. I think you should put in there. But it was so profound, as literally the sharks were eating out of the palm of my hand.
Wonderful. So if people want to get started and they are in the US
and Canada.
US and Canada, you're lucky. You just go, you click the link down below, you order yourself a sprouting kit. Please come to Europe and everywhere else in the world. Australia. I'm sure Simon will be very happy about this once if he goes back to Australia. Anything else you think we should know about sprouts? So one myth, maybe, you let me know if it's a myth. One thing I was concerned about was actually safety, because there are a lot of stories about...
There's no recorded instances of homegrown sprouts, food recalls, period. So the level of standard and care that's associated with homegrown sprouting and certified organic seeds, testing the seeds for pathogens, growing them in glass and stainless steel, there's just no issue. Where there were issues were 20 or 30 years ago, when there was no standards, no documentation, and no hygienic processes. So in the case of growing them in a large factory, that can be at risk of, various pathogens and compounds, it's very different than when you take the seed, you rinse the seed, you soak the seed, and you grow them. And that's where I think homegrown sprouting is opening up a whole new vector, because people are concerned. But if you, are cross-contaminating in a kitchen with chicken. The USDA used to have regulations that chicken could not leave the factory or the slaughterhouse or the processing with salmonella on it. And now they've said they cannot control it. And through billions of dollars of industry and lobbying, they've now said it is acceptable to ship chicken with foodborne illness in it. And the recommendation is to cook the shit out of it, right, and broil it, and no red meat and no raw parts. And people used to get their chicken and wash it in the sink. And now they're saying, do not wash it, because if you wash it, you'll be spreading bacteria all through your entire kitchen. So I published a white paper, you can link it in there, with 100%. Dr. Jed Fahey, where we studied foodborne illness, an appraisal over the last quarter century. And what we came up with is that sprouts are the safest thing that you could eat. If you grow them and you sanitize the items in the process, they're very safe. So if you're concerned, there's that other world that everything should be pasteurized. You should be showering with Purell, adding isopropyl alcohol to your shower to further sanitize and wipe away your microbiome and destroy your gut. And it's a total scare tactic. And I think one of the things that when I realized how safe sprouts were, how healthy they were, I literally, pivoted from everything else I was working on to focus on getting this message out to the world, because sprouts are worthy, of that message and that sharing.
Is there something we should do in terms of safety, like when we sprout?
I mean, you don't you want to start with the best seeds that are possible. So one thing, I spent years sourcing and designing our supply chain to get seeds that were certified organic, grown specifically for sprouting, tested for high germination rates, right? And also batch testing for pathogens. So if literally for every batch of seeds, they're taking a scoop, they're growing out the crop, they're taking the wastewater from it, sending it to the lab, checking bacterial counts and the like. And only when that passes do the seeds get approved to go into packaging and distribution.
So let's say, I have a big European audience that I adore. They can't order your sprouting kit yet. So we are looking for, it should be organic, and it should be
third-party tested, and for pathogens as well as for germination.
Okay, wonderful.
And also, I would recommend in Germany, my book Sprout book is available. Lots of resources in there.
Read that book. Really, it's one of my favorite books. It's one of the books I gift, whenever there's a birthday approaching or Christmas. I love getting people involved into sprouting. I know you do too. My final question is a question that I usually don't ask. Usually I ask the same question, but it doesn't feel right this morning, this beautiful morning in Los Angeles. My question would be, I went to New York recently, and there was this beautiful Times Square. And imagine you would have control over the Times Square. They would call you, whoever's in charge, tells you get 5 minutes of airtime there. It could be a video. It could be you speaking to the whole New York Times Square, to whole America, basically, to the whole world. The whole world would watch, because if someone is taking over the Times Square for 5 minutes straight, that would go viral. What would be your message? What would you say?
I'd say there's nothing more true than you are what you eat, right? And that, the idea that everything goes into your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit, you have control and you have agency. So I would encourage people to raise their standards, and eating sprouts is the ultimate act of self-love. sharing sprouts is the ultimate of generosity, and that, there's a lot of things going on in the world today, and that if we can shift into this abundance consciousness and feel like how you healed and treated your cancer is like getting into the vibration of unconditional love and abundance, is just so powerful. I don't even need 5 minutes. That's a minute.
I love that. I have a massive amount of respect for you, your work, the way you show up. I mean, when is your birthday? You
June 9th. I'm going to be 60 years old. By the way, I would say my clothing, this is, and I'm not paid, but this is Industry of All Nations. This is certified organic, unbleached, undyed organic cotton.
Okay.
Right? And it's just such high vibrational food, clothing. It's like, it feels so good.
It looks good too. And what I want to say is, when I saw you running up the stairs, the pace, I was like, I know some 30 years old who can't do that. Let alone the other people that I know who are in a similar age range. So that speaks for itself, I would say. I have a fellow Gemini in front of me.
Yeah, so. Baby.
That's when you can tell the energy, the power. Listen, I have so much respect, so much appreciation for you. I want everybody to get involved. If you live in the US, if you live in Canada, order the sprouting set. I mean, look at it. It's absolutely freaking beautiful. It feels really good. It's a bit heavy, but I like it.
Yeah.
If you are in Europe, just patiently wait.
Yes, yeah.
I'm sure you'll get there.
Absolutely. I mean, the demand is really global. Like it's
1 million %. 1 million %. And I mean, don't just wait. Buy a sprouting set.
Yeah,
become
now.
A farmer.
That's
how
right.
amazing. Nowadays we can all become a farmer. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, become a farmer, inspire other people, because this stuff, broccoli sprouts, and like sprouts in general, to the idea that you can become your own farmer at home, get organic, high quality, nutrient dense foods, always at home. So incredibly affordable. It is just ridiculous.
Let's grow.
Let's grow. Let's grow and let's go. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything we can do to support you? Because you've been really, like, I follow you. You're one of the few people that I actually watch all the time. It's always, I know I always get inspired to do epic stuff. You have the right values. You want to make this world a better place. You genuinely care about people's health. You do so much for the world. What can we do for you?
I mean, I think just live your best life. Like, live with love in your heart.
Live with... Thank you so much. You're such an inspiring person. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed today's episode, if you start sprouting, not if, when you start sprouting, take a picture of you sprouting, tag us both on Instagram. I know you're very active on Instagram too, so we can see you sprouting.
Exactly.
Let's go. Let's grow.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, my
Amazing.
friend.
Thank you. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode, just as a little gift from our side, from my team, because you stayed until the end of this episode. 30 days of free Fire Within membership. I created the Fire Within membership to give you guys access to the tools that have changed my life, the lives of my clients, and give you also access to a community of like-minded people. We have guided breathwork sessions, guided meditations, guided visualization practices, really tools that enable you to create the life that you deserve and that you want. And it's one of the best things we have ever created. Hundreds of people, live events, sessions that will blow your mind. 30 days for free. You will find the link in the description. Thank you so much, and until next time.